This is Lansdowne Roar, the voice of the fans. Coming up, John Joe Patrick Finn makes his League on debut. Is he the man to fix Ireland's midfield problems? Also, is Jacob Ryan starting to show that he has what it takes for the Premier League? Colin Healy wants to take things further against the FAI. And of course, we have a look at how our boys in green got on across the water. This is Sunday night. It's Lansdowne Roar, and we're live. There we go. Hello and welcome to another edition of Lansdowne Roar Live. David Dunn here, joined by Conor McAvoy. No Martin this week. He is over at Fulham. I'm sure he's happy. He's a happy chappy. Another Sunday wasted watching football. But anyway, here we are to, I suppose, enlighten your evening with more football. Good football chat with myself here and Conor. If you haven't already, guys, if you wouldn't mind, subscribe button and follow the page. Also, if you wouldn't mind giving this video a like as well, it really does help. You can also head over to our Facebook, Instagram and our Twitter account. It's all in the thing below there in our link tree, and you can see what's going on. Also, if you head out to lansdowneroar.ie for an audio version of this when we eventually put up the recorded version, like a replay and opinion and all that happy stuff. And of course, Conor is over at Rep Tracker on Twitter. That is at Rep Tracker on Twitter. And of course, he too is also on Facebook. I just want to, I suppose, give my thoughts to everybody who was caught with the storm during the week. I hope everything's okay. We're probably expecting our viewership to be a little bit down because still a lot of places without power and without internet, Conor, isn't there? Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of places near me of people without power still on getting it back and then going again tonight. So yeah, so just best wishes to everyone. Hopefully it hasn't affected anyone too dearly. So it seems to be just a loss of power for most people, which is not the end of the world.
Yeah. No, just a typical Sunday night for you, really, isn't it? Yes. No. All seriousness, though, we hope everyone is okay. Yeah, sorry, I missed last week. Conor, I think 15 minutes before we were due to go live last week, I got attacked by some food poisoning. And yeah, had a kebab. It doesn't get any more sort of, yeah. Stuff. Okay. But yeah, no, it was no fun. I had a chicken kebab. I've eaten in this place loads of times, and yeah, not fun. I was still listening though to you and Martin. I don't know, but with my head in the toilet. But I don't know if that was the food poisoning or just listening to you two. You both, not the band. Before anyone says anything, right? Listening to you two, the band would bring some melodic. What are you umming about there?
No, you're just talking absolutely dumb.
Are you still there, Conor? I think we've lost Conor.
Have you? Hello?
Oh, okay. Conor's lagging there a little bit. Of course, we still got the storm up there. Yeah, I can hear you, Conor, but I can't see you. So we're just having some technical issues there.
I don't know
of course, thank you, Martin Fitzpatrick. Welcome back, David Dunn. Thank you, Martin. It is good to be back because, yeah, last week was not fun at all. Conor, oh, you're back there, Conor?
Am I? Yeah.
Yeah, you are, yeah. Sorry, folks, just apologies in advance. That's probably going to happen a few times tonight, obviously, to start.
Jack, look. I think it's you, David. It's your London Wi-Fi, your upper class posh Wi-Fi, thinking you're better than the rest of us. So...
First of all, I am better than the rest of you. Second of all, it's not Wi-Fi; it's a LAN cable, so it's not Wi-Fi. So,
it's not.
Yeah.
Wow. The storm's affected you more in London than it has myself and Monaghan. So, Ireland on top as always.
No, you're just used to living without water and internet and power. In fact, that's just a Sunday for you guys. When that happens to us, it's a massive storm. Anyway, And as always, folks, we see the comments coming in there. We will get to those. Have your say, leave a comment, and get involved. We are Irish football's most interactive podcast. And yeah, we want to hear from you. So anything we're talking about here, we got the latest news. Obviously, we got iBig, and then we're going to get to the comments. Anything you want to ask us about, stuff we're talking about, stuff you want to talk about, any stories, absolutely. We're going to be here for the next, about hour and 20 minutes there or thereabouts. Got 500 watching us already for the first 5 minutes. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Other than the storm, Conor, how was your week? Did you upset anybody or do anything?
No, just watch football, really. It's been actually a busy week of just watching football. That's all I've really done. So I've tried to keep my life the same as I always do. Just watch football and hope Irish players do well. And then if they don't do well, I'm sad. But then this week's actually been a good week for Irish football. It's been lads playing all over the continent and doing well, and the transfer window in full flight, and a week to go or so. Finished, closed on the 3rd of Feb. So it could be a busy last week.
Yeah, no, we will have a transfer window special. See where all the Irish lads have gone to. Well, what we think is good, who missed out, that sort of thing. So can't wait for that. I don't know. Right? While I was recovering from food poisoning, I only noticed this actually. I posted this was a while ago. It was about 10 days ago. I posted this, Conor. But I've upset the good people of Northern Ireland. I brought this to your attention, didn't I, during the week?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So, well, I'll show you the post, folks. So, every now and again, if it's a bit quiet, I like to put something out there to sort of remind people of, things that have happened or, Liam Brady, here he is with Tony Cascarino. But, well, here is one of Big Jack chatting away to Billy Bingham. Bless them. Neither of them are with us anymore, unfortunately. And it's basically a picture of Jack going up to Billy Bingham saying, "Up yours too." And of course, that was on the night in Belfast in 1993 when the Republic of Ireland qualified for the World Cup. So, just put it on there. It's a bit of crack and it's a bit of fun. But anyway, I noticed there was a comment there, Conor, if you're not too busy on your phone.
Yeah, go on.
Look with your eyes.
Go on.
Listen with your eyes and fucking,
I'm sharing our stream about spreading the good word to the people of Twitter.
I hope so. Well, anyway, so yeah, one other fellow Facebook page took umbrage towards my comment there, and page called "Are We Country?" Have you ever heard of this Facebook page? I'm not being facetious there.
I think it's no. I think I have seen it before. I think it's is it popular enough? It's a Northern Ireland fan page as such, is it?
100,000 followers on Facebook.
Yeah.
Lansdowne Road has 72,000, although they have been going 9 years longer than Lansdowne Road. Just put it out there. But they're doing quite well. I know numbers you can only dream of there, Conor.
Bots don't count. Bots don't take all them bots away.
Yeah, that'd be like 71,000. But here's what he had to say. Always great reading comments on here when you're admin for /Poundland wannabe sports reporter. I'm a Poundland wannabe sports reporter, Conor.
That's the first time I've ever heard. That's the first time I've ever heard you refer to as a sports reporter. So that's a positive anyway, isn't it?
I'll take it, Conor. I'll absolutely take it. Reporter, post this to get the clicks up. Well, yeah, I mean, that's why you post stuff on social media, don't you, to get clicks up? Like, is that not the whole point of it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, you're one of these young people. You're down with the kids. Isn't that what the hip folk do, isn't it? They,
especially.
Yeah, and then he says, keep paying those UK taxes, mucker. Well, yeah, I mean, I live in London. I make no bones about it. I mention it every week. I mention it every fucking episode. If I'm not paying taxes, I'm on the dole again. Anyway, 10,000 there that night in Windsor Park. Apparently, I didn't even know Windsor Park could hold 10,000. Half Republic fans going by the amount of views claiming to have been there. Cop Terrace empty and 250 in the railway stand due to restrictions. What an atmosphere! Anybody run on the pitch attacking players? So dangerous. Your team had to get the news from Spain in the dressing room under armed guard, eh? No, well, yeah, as he knows, they were on the pitch that night, getting the news. Any of the thousands of Republican fans they're getting a hiding? Out of interest, anybody produce the audio of trick or treat chants from the TV coverage, or can we just take it? It was bullshit, like a lot of the other bollocks talked about that night. Billy waving his arms about, encouraging the crowd, singing dodgy songs equals bigot. Yeah, you lot are fine with IRA songs on the team bus. Christ, even 30 years later, you had your women's team on a pedestal for singing them, yet we are the bad guys. If you're listening there, that's our wee country. Cheers for the coverage there. What do you make of that? Like they have they admit that they watch the page. They keep an eye on the page for the comments, don't they?
But yeah, and like I don't know what they're on about putting the women's team on a pedestal for singing IRA songs 30 years later. I don't think anyone did. I remember they put out a public apology, didn't they, if I'm right? And we were celebrating the fact that they were the first women's team to ever qualify for a major tournament, not the fact that they celebrated by singing Rebel song in the dressing room after. So I think it's just a very angry person who is very anti Irish people pushing being Irish. It's weird. I don't know him. I don't know. Like I know Ireland's a wee country, but it's strange that he's calling Northern Ireland a wee country. Like it's just all one thing in my eyes, isn't it?
Oh, you went there. I don't know. I just think it's gas. Like, I mean, look, we just put. I couldn't give a flying fuck really. We just put stuff up there. For a bit of crack. When there's nothing going on, you go, okay, I'll put something up, get people talking, get some memories. What I love about the page is when I put something up on there, and someone goes, "Oh my god, I remember this," and I was there with my father who's no longer with, or whatever, and it starts getting the memories going. That's what it's about. That's what Lansdowne Road is about as well. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's good crack. But thank you. You called me sports reporter. It's the first one. No one else calls me sports reporter, so I will take that. Anyway, should we have a look at some of the news of what's been going on this week? Of course, this is where Conor and I have a little look through the week and say, what is actually happening with the boys and girls? You said earlier, Conor, there's been a hell of a lot going on. But we'll talk about the big news that came yesterday. You broke on a rep tracker, and that is Mr. John Joe Patrick Finn. I always get his name confused there. There he is, making his debut for Stade Ram against PSG. He was in the Parc des Princes as well, isn't it? In a 1-1 draw. He played 68 minutes there. Fantastic for the young lad. You've been following him for quite some time, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been one I've been tracking a long time now. I think he broke on the scene when he was only 17 at the time. He's 21 now with Getafe. I think he was their youngest player to ever feature in a game in the Liga. And then there was a tug of war between Ireland, England, and Spain to get his services at the time, and he chose Ireland in the end. His father is from Mayo. He would have spent a lot of summers in Mayo, but I think his father unfortunately has passed away. So I think he has a lot of love for our country, and I believe in his meeting he had with the FAI with whoever it was, Jim Crawford, I think Stephen Kenny would have been in there at the time. He got quite emotional because the FAI had put out such a good presentation to him and really put the effort in to get him on board. And ever since then, he's been on board. Ireland hasn't really been involved in the last couple of years simply because he just hasn't been playing first team football. He's kind of wasted a couple of seasons, being honest, at Getafe, whether it was sitting on the bench or playing with their B side. And now it's moved on to Reims this winter. And no one really knew what was going to come of this move, because you never know when a lad leaves a club like that, because I wouldn't imagine there's a great deal between the quality in Reims' side and the quality in Getafe's side. Reims, you could probably argue, might be a bit better. And then he didn't feature last weekend in the Cup, but he'd only signed a day or two, but he was on the bench. And then I was shocked to see him starting yesterday, and I was really hopeful of what he could do. And first half, he done all right. He looked a bit nervy at times, but he broke up possession well. He could tell it was his debut away against PSG.
Yeah.
Is an almost impossible task. One of the best sides in Europe still. Probably you'd say top 10 sides probably in Europe. And then second half, you could see him really start to grow into the game. you could see his biggest trait he has is very good athleticism, breaks up play well, gets on the end of stuff. He was playing very deep, almost as they played with like 2 number 6s. I think is probably his best role as like number 8 box to box midfielder, where he can pick up the ball and run with it and drive with it a bit, because he's either way, he'd be a bit like Boston Lowell in that way, that he's tall, 6'3", can pick up the ball and drive it midfield. Even though he's been brought up in the Spanish culture, he wouldn't say his passing is his number one trait, or like he'd be technically a superb player. Technically, he is still very good, but he wouldn't be your traditional come through the system in Spain.
Yeah, because that's what people are asking when it's shared on the page. Like, what sort of player he is? I think, did he start off as a winger?
He did. He came. I think that was a big thing. I believe when he was having meetings with the FAI, he kept saying to them that I want to be playing midfield. I want to be playing centre mid. That's my best position. And I think when he was making his debut at Getafe, they were playing him a lot on the wing and stuff. I don't know whether it was just packing the midfield and stuff, or not trying to put a young 17-year-old in the thick of the battle in the middle of the park. But I think it was more filling the role that he played on the wing. It wasn't his best position in a sense.
So layman's terms, he's a guy that can destroy, that breaks up. He's a destroyer, basically. He breaks up attacks. That's something we've been crying out for. Breaks up attacks, and you say he's not very good. He's still technically okay because he's been brought up in the continent, but he's the kind of guy breaks up an attack and then just gives a simple ball to the ball player. Basically, that's what he does.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm not like, because I'm not saying he's elite technically. He still has a good football brain, and he's not going to do stupid stuff. He just knows. I think he knows what he's good at, and because we'd always say Malumbi's that type of destroyer, but I think he's slightly different in that sense. He's more of technically, more football brain wise, would be ahead in that sense. But obviously Malumbi covers ground like one you'd never really see. But I think he's one player that we should continue to watch a lot, and hopefully he continue to prove where he's at, because he can tell he could easily fit in as a number 6 in a team because of his size and he is confident on the ball. He looked a bit nervy yesterday in the first half, but I think that was just debut nerves. You can tell he knows what he's doing in the centre of the park, and it keeps it simple, breaks up play well, and what we really need from a number 6, or even if he plays as a number 8, covering more ground.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep an eye on him here, of course. Obviously too early to come in for March. I've seen some of the comments. So we keep your comments coming in, guys. We will get to them at around the half-hour, 40-minute mark, and we will get to some of those. Obviously too early to come in March, but it's
you never
nice.
Know, Dave, though. Yeah, you actually never, because he could play the next. He could start the next, because we don't play Bulgaria's. That day of that game is the 21st of or 20th, one of the 2 days then, and that is still almost 2 months away. I know the squad being named a week before that, but if he continues to play every week and continues to develop and play more, maybe you could see him in. I personally don't think he will make the squad, but I don't think it's something that we can write off completely and think, be like, no, there's no chance. There's obviously he definitely has a chance, because we are still weak in midfield, and there's 20th of March. So no, he definitely has a chance. Whether it does or not, I would lean more to the side of no at this stage, but I don't think we can write him off.
But it's nice to see, we're now starting to see that trickle, hopefully, of central midfield players that we've been crying out for, Bosun Lawal and, of course, John Joe. He has now been added, by the way, folks, to the Ligue, so we will be keeping an eye. Yeah.
He's made it. That's when you know you made it.
He has made it.
Yeah.
It's the next best thing to an Irish cap. He's made it to the Ligue list. So there you go. Maybe we should tell the FAI that. So we will be keeping an eye on him now anyway. So exciting times ahead. So that's excellent moves there for him. And speaking of excellent moves, Omo, there he is. He's at Strasbourg. That's him after his first game yesterday, of course, a 2-1 win over in Lille. And Omobama Deli, of course, we know this guy's super talented. He just, for whatever reason, couldn't get into the Forest team. They were riding high up until yesterday before they got a 5-0 hiding down at Bournemouth. Didn't see that coming, I must admit. But yeah, super move for him. Alone until the end of the season with a because it was with an option to buy. People were thinking. By the way, we've just gone over the 1,000 viewer mark. So thank you again, folks. Brilliant support again on a Sunday night. Over 1,000 watching us live. We hope you're enjoying it too. So an option to buy, but it was mooted that it actually was a permanent deal, but no, it's an option to buy, see what this kid's got. And we know he's super talented, Andrew Omobamidele, but he came on the 45th minute, so obviously came on for somebody must have gone off injured or whatever half time. But yeah, I mean, this is another lad, isn't he? He's got massive future ahead of him if he can just stay injury free.
Yeah, I think he's a huge talent, and he has all the modern traits to be a really good footballer. And he seems to have his head on his shoulders, which is one of the big things modern footballers need. And this is a really good move. I've seen someone are trying to argue with me in the comments of a post saying that he would have been better off going to the Championship and that the French league is a terrible league. People need to get out of their head. The French league is still one of the top 5 leagues in Europe. Some of the best talent that's in Europe comes out of the French league. Look at the sides: PSG, Rennes, Nice, Monaco, Lille, Brest, all very good sides. It's like you put them teams in the Championship, they'll walk away with it. People just like to shit on it basically because Mbappe was tearing it apart or Neymar was tearing it apart because there's a couple of teams at the bottom that aren't as good as the rest. But this is a brilliant move, I think, for Andrew Omobamidele. Like, he's playing under Liam Messina, ex-Hull manager, and they have a real chance of getting into the European places. So I'm excited for what goes ahead the rest of 4 months, 5 months.
And you know what? It's also like, let's not forget, for a young lad like that to get a few games and spend a bit of time on the continent, it's only good. It just widens your scope of football, doesn't it? You're playing a different style, you're playing a more technical style. It's not just the thrust and gust of the Championship, where you know, because he's probably not going to play in the Premier League. No one's going, not this season, this pivotal moment. You know, we're at the halfway point now. He's not really going to get. He was never going to get moved to a Premier League side, you know. So now it's good. I think it's a good move for him, and he just needs minutes. He just needs games, and hopefully he's going to show everybody what that boy can do. Jake O'Brien, of course, another game. Amazing what happens when a new manager comes in. David Moyes, he fancies him. Played it right back again. This time he played the full 90 minutes, and they got a 1-0 win against Brighton. That was at the Amex as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was away against one of the most tricky wingers in the Premier League, in Matoma, who's with low centre of gravity. The ball sticks to his feet, and he done excellently well against him. And I think it's a big shock to everyone that Jake O'Brien has turned into a fullback at Everton. But we've seen more and more centre backs drift over and playing on the fullback positions at the moment. I don't know whether it's just a trend or it actually will continue in the long run. But he's been absolutely superb. I'm glad to say I'm pleasantly surprised by how well he's done at fullback. And Nathan Patterson was back on the bench for Everton at the weekend, didn't get any minutes over Jake, and it shows that David Moyes really fancies him and thinks that whatever he sees him as fullback, maybe I'd imagine he doesn't see him there long term, but I think he's very happy with him there in the short term, probably to the end of the season, and then see where he goes from there. But he was absolutely excellent yet again, and there's real competition for places in the centre back / I don't know, I'd still say Jake as a centre back in the defender positions for Ireland for March. Like, that's 2 players that weren't in the last squad that'll probably come back in with them playing in top level football. And it's like, who drops out? What way does Heimer work it?
Yeah, I mean, there's huge competition, especially at the back now. It's nice to see this. I really think a few months down the line now, we're going to see some real competition, not just in the centre back position, but also all over the pitch. It's brilliant. Like, there's some players now that have been missing for a bit for various reasons. They're coming back into it. You know, like the last guy, Omobamidele. Now, I'd love to see him back in playing regular football. And yeah, Jake O'Brien, I think he should stopgap for. The way I look at it at Everton, he's just got it. David Moyes has to keep him up. Obviously, Seamus Coleman, he wasn't in the squad again. I presume he's injured. And Ashley Young as well. Like, they're both nearly 40 years of age, the pair of them. Like, you know, so he just needs somebody to stop the rot, because Ashley Young, you know, he's past it. Coleman as well. Still, on his day, can pull off a decent performance, but, you know, like, the best days are behind him. So we just need someone young, fresh, do a job, and then get to the end of the season and then see what he's got. And you might see, I reckon, Jake O'Brien, you'll probably see him slot into his centre-back position. I think he's just a makeshift right back, not having a go at the lad. That's where he's been asked to play a role. He's desperate to play. They paid £17 million for him from Lyon. And he's finally hadn't played a game in the Premier League up until last week. the 3-2 game against Spurs at home to Everton, and now he's doing brilliant. So I'm delighted for Jake, and I think it's fantastic. And May,
He's the best win rate in Premier League history for starting games. 100%
yeah,
win rate in the Premier League every game he started. So he
there
might
you
be the
go.
greatest player to ever play in the Premier League in my eyes.
Ever best player.
Ever.
A bit of a stretch. Another lad here, actually, Martin would talk about competition. Here's another boy, Aaron Cashin. There he is at Derby County. He did play yesterday, but of course, he was the subject of a transfer bid by Brighton. Some of the fans feel his head has been turned. The bid was rejected, I should say, first. He played yesterday in a 1-0 loss. I never put it on the graphic, but you had an interesting tweet, didn't you, where somebody said that he walked around the what's it, Pride Park, is it?
Pride Park to call it, yeah.
I was about to call it the baseball ground. Pride Park. That's the old ground. Pride Park, and he did like a lap of honor. So, a lot of Derby fans think this boy is gone.
Yeah, I've seen, because I've seen a Derby journalist who's close to the club tweeted earlier saying that the club are still seem to be very high in their stance, but it's just hard to know what the situation is, because he's a top class centre half, in my opinion. Brilliant on the ball, brilliant in the air for his size, and it's just really, really composed. And like I spoke last week about him on what to show at Martin, and then the subject of the bid came the next morning. So I do think he's a player that we would see in the Ireland squad in March if he gets a move and starts playing wherever he goes to, because it looks like Brighton is very keen after him. That 3 windows in a row they've came in for Aaron Cashin and look to snap him up. So they clearly see something in him that they can bring into their first team. I don't know whether he probably doesn't come in and start straight away, but they obviously see something that's long term there.
Just for the folks here watching this that might not be familiar with him, so just to explain to those guys, he plays centre back, right back, but
Centre back. He's a left-footed centre back.
So just explain to the folks as quick as you can what sort of defender this guy is.
Yeah, he'd actually be the type of defender you'd love, Dave. He's what you'd really see is an old school type defender. Loves getting stuck in, heading the ball, putting his head wherever the ball goes. But then he also has that modern day composure on the ball. Given his left foot is lovely, passing slick through the lines. He's quick across the ground, and despite his size, he's very, very good in there. That's probably the one negative you'll always have with someone that small. He's 5'9", 5'10", not the size of a modern day centre half usually is, usually 6'3", 6'4", but he's excellent in there. If you watch the stats, or if you even watch Derby play, he gets on the ball, or not get on the ball, he gets on the crosses from free kicks, corners very often. So he's a brilliant footballer, and he's one I rate very highly, and I think that he probably, in my opinion, I would have him ahead of Mark McGuinness in the Ireland pecking order, but Heimer seems to be big on having big 6'4", 6'5" boys that are probably more likely to get on the end of a set piece. But no, I think he's excellent, and maybe getting a move to Brighton, it'll push him ahead of some of these lads in the pecking order, and we could see a top centre half there.
Yeah, and it's also encouraging, like Brighton go for a certain type of player, so it's always nice. They always have a certain very technically gifted, ball players, and to see one of those, another one at centre back, is very encouraging indeed. Well, that's the wrap up we've got with the players. Just before we move on to IBIG, just quickly here, Colin Healy, of course, was covered in last week's episode, but he has pressed ahead, Conor, with his complaint against the FAI. Just going to read this from Danny McDonald's from Friday. For the Independent, just quickly, Colin Healy set the press ahead with a formal complaint over the FAI's handling of his departure from the role of Ireland Women's Assistant Boss after Abbottstown attempts to resolve the matter privately this week failed to reach an amicable conclusion. He went public over his issues with the FAI by releasing a statement after the appointment of Carla Ward as Eileen Gleeson's successor, which raised questions about his treatment during the process of changing management. Apparently, he felt he was verbally assured that he was going to be kept on by Mark Conor. Pretty much it. And then, of course, it was never the case. Strange one as well, that he couldn't. I mean, what do you make of it? It's just a ball ache, really, for the FAI to deal with, isn't it?
Yeah, I just don't know what to even do about this situation from here. Like, does he have any proof? Like, it's the big thing with me. Does he have proof that they've informed him of all these things, or being told by Mark Conor that he's going to stay on? So it's interesting. Like I just don't know. Like I don't know what to make of it because I'd like to believe Colin Healy and his stance and the way he's going, and I respect how confident he is in the situation. But it's like, where do you go from here? Because I'd imagine it was just done over an in-person conversation or over a phone call. So it's just strange in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I've never met Colin Healy, but from what I've hear, he's a stand-up guy. Never had an issue, never heard anything bad about him. Obviously he's had a very tragic. He lost his wife, didn't he? Not so long ago. So I don't really know what to make of it myself. I don't know, lying is the right word. Probably someone's got their wires crossed, but he feels very strongly about this to kind of to A, go public, and B, press ahead, because I think that's obviously the nuclear option, isn't it? Like, you're not going to get another job with these guys again, with Carell or Canham, you'd imagine, or maybe they would, I don't know. But yeah, for him to do that, he must feel very strongly about it. So he must have good reason, but I don't know why a technical director or director of football, whatever his title is, I don't mean that disparagingly. He's changed titles recently. Why you would tell somebody, verbally, oh yeah, we're going to keep you on, when really I don't know. Would that be up to the manager? Because that was the whole thing, wasn't it, with Lee Carsley, that he wasn't allowed to pick his backroom staff, that the FEI were kind of leaning towards, yeah, you can have one or two, but, we've got to have these guys here because they're FEI people. So I don't know. As you say, it's a very strange one. So, I mean, it'll all come out in the wash. Maybe there's a bit of discovery. Who knows? But hopefully it gets resolved quick enough. Guys, I see your comments coming in there. Keep them coming in. Should we do a bit of Oi Big? Are you ready for a bit of Oi Big?
Stuck into Oi Big, will we?
Bit of Oi Big. Right, let's do it. Where are we? Right, okay, let's start with the goalies. Queefing Keller, another unused sub in their 4-1 win over Ipswich Town. Mark Travers, unused sub for Bournemouth as well, and their demolition of Forest. Max O'Leary, 90 minutes and a 2-1 win over Blackburn for Bristol City. Josh Keeley, 90 minutes and a 2-0 win over Reading for Leyton Orient. Gavin Mazzuni, 90 minutes for the under-21s and a 2-0 win against Chelsea for Southampton. Of course, Conor, feel free to correct me, as I'm sure you will relish doing.
You were spot on with your information there. Did you see the save Gavin Mazzuni made the other day?
I did. Martin sent it into
unbelievable.
Yeah, it was excellent.
It was ridiculous. It was unbelievable. Obviously, it was only on a 21 game, but Jesus, he hasn't lost it anyway. The reaction saves, which is a good sign. And it seems like Mark Travers is probably heading to Middlesbrough on loan until the end of the season. I don't know if Peter O'Rourke, the footy insider boy, had said they're in advanced talks, whatever. Probably didn't happen over the weekend. Bournemouth probably wanted him still in the squad. I'd imagine Bournemouth will probably have to bring in a new number 2 if they're letting Travers go. But
yeah,
it's an interesting scenario, and I think he'll do very, very well if the move to Bournemouth goes through. And they're a team that's competing for, I know they lost the weekend, but they're a team that's competing. You'd expect them to finish in the playoffs, and he could be that difference.
He could be. I mean, I think he's been treated quite poorly by Bournemouth, but anytime he has been brought into the equation and he's been, they've called for him, he has answered that call impeccably. Mark Travers, he's been brilliant, and I'm delighted to see him do that. Gavin Mazzuna as well. The manager, Southampton manager, hinted that he would be going out on loan. Of course, I didn't know this, but it would make perfect sense. But Gavin Mazzuna isn't even registered in the Premier League squad for Southampton. I mean, why? He had a 9-month. Yeah, no disrespect to Gavin. It's just he was out for 9 months, and they need every player they can get, and they won't be in the Premier League very long. 6 points. That is embarrassing. Really bad. Even when he took the lead yesterday, he knew, like, even they knew this isn't going to last, boys.
How often does that happen, Dave, that we're when a top side or top 6 side goes 1-0 down and then they always come back? Like, kind of the goal kind of rejuvenates them to come back into the game. They kind of needed to go up. I know it's same up with Man United against them. I think Liverpool went 1-0. Was it Liverpool went 1-0 down to them as well? So it's kind of the thing, when a bottom side scores first, you just know the other team's going to come back.
Yeah, it just made him angry. Really, Southampton are a mess, and I don't know about this current guy. Looks more like a school teacher. The current boss, Russell Martin, obviously fired beforehand. But yeah, he's going to go out on loan as well. Don't know where. I mean, there'd be plenty of clubs to have him. Championship, I think, would be good for Gavin as well. Nothing wrong with the Championship. He is a quality goalkeeper, but he's just in the under 21s because that's all he can. Which is clever. It's just smart. It's all he can. They can do to just get that match sharpness back 9 months out. And we wish him all the best. Right, on to the defenders. Of course, if there's an error, our adjudicator, Conor McAvoy, will correct it. Let's go. Seamus Coleman still not in the squad. I believe he's injured for Everton. Darrell O'Shea, 90 minutes and a 4-1 loss against Liverpool. We'll talk about that. Nathan Collins, 90 minutes today in a 2-1 win over Crystal Palace for Brentford. Liam Scales, the match postponed. The roof almost came off Celtic Park. Shane Duffy, 90 minutes and a 5-1 thrashing against Swansea. Mark McGuinness, 90 minutes and a 1-0 loss against Millwall for Luton. Callum McDowd is still out injured for Cardiff City. Matt Doherty, 87 minutes in a 1-0 loss against Arsenal. Causing trouble, he was, Matt. Jacob Ryan, 90 minutes at right back in a 1-0 win over Brighton. Good man, Jake. Ryan Manning, 60 minutes and a 3-1 loss against Newcastle for Southampton. Andrew Amabamadeli, 45 minutes and a 2-1 win over Lille and for his new club, Strasbourg. 29 minutes for Robbie Brady and a 2-1 win over Middlesbrough for Preston. Jimmy Dunn, 90 minutes as a right back and a 2-0 loss against Sheffield Wednesday for QPR. John Egan, they play Monday. Burnley do. Aaron Cash in 90 minutes, a 2-1 loss against, not against Derby. Poor Derby. And Samuel Garcia McNulty, 90 minutes and a 4-1 win over Fortuna Sittard, or against Fortuna Sittard. Will Ferry, 90 minutes and a 3-1 loss against Rangers. And James Abankwa, 11 minutes and 2-1 loss against Coventry for Watford. Fuck. Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah,
I know Cashin wants to leave, but I don't think he was playing against Derby. I don't think he was that.
Well, according to some fans, they were. Who were he playing? Portsmouth, wasn't it? No, Portsmouth lost, got battered. Derby results. Who were he playing? Go on, you bollocks.
I don't remember.
They were playing Cardiff.
Oh, Callum Robinson scored, of course.
Don't give it away.
I think we all know he does because he plastered it all over his social media, so we know he did score.
But yeah, fair enough. He's doing well actually. Midfield. Josh Cullen, Monday. Jason Knight, 90 minutes and a 2-1 win over Blackburn for Bristol. Jason Malumbi, illness for West Bromwich Albion. Benazaz, 81 minutes and a 2-1 loss against Preston for Middlesbrough. And Moore, 90 minutes and 1-1 draw at West Brom. Jack Taylor, an unused sub for Ipswich in their demolition against Liverpool. Jamie McGrath, injured for Aberdeen. Will Smallbone, 11 minutes and a 3-1 loss against Newcastle for Southampton. Alan Brown, still out injured for Sunderland. Mark Sykes, 30 minutes and a 2-1 win over Blackburn for Bristol. Luca Connell, 83 minutes and a 1-0 loss against Stevenage Borough for Barnsley. Not in the squad, Bolson Lawal for Stoke City. We'll talk about him in a second. Conor Coventry, 90 minutes and a 1-0 win against Shrewsbury for Charlton. Rocco Vata, 79 minutes and a 2-1 loss against Coventry for Watford. And John Joe Patrick Finn, welcome to Oibig, 68 minutes in a 1-1 draw with PSG. Bolson Lawal, we reckon he's getting ready to play in the under-21s. He's going down the Gavin Bazuna route. That's why he wasn't in the squad.
Yeah, that's what I think. Why he wasn't playing. It's just building fitness up, and
yeah.
I hope it's not like going out on loan a bit because I don't even think he's ready to play nights on loan. So, no, I think we'll see Boston go out on loan.
Cool. Sorry,
just on. I was watching Stoke actually the other day, and they're a terrible side, absolutely awful. And I just think Andy Moore has to get out of there as soon as possible. Stoke. I think he has to look to get himself onto the continent because the Championship is not the league for Andy Moore. It doesn't suit technical footballers at all. It's just all power-based players, and footballers, a lot of teammates of his or wingers that cut inside and just shoot. No, don't bring their head up, get their head up, don't look to play it the man on the edge of the box. And it was just the most frustrating game to watch. And it must be horrible for him to play in because he's trying to play nice technical football and play 1-2s with players, or just keeping it simple. And they're all head down agricultural football. Like, there's a reason a lot of technical players are playing on the continent. And just on another midfielder, because it seems to be all midfielders at the moment, how Jack Taylor's not getting more minutes at Ipswich over Calvin Phillips is an absolute disgrace. I know you said about Darrow Shea for that first goal yesterday, Dave. I know he got done by Sabazz.
He came back with it.
The most important thing in that is how Calvin Phillips just let Sabazz just drift off his shoulder. And I'm not even an Ipswich fan at all, and I just done my head in because you just see a midfielder just have no sense of surrounding, lets the player drift off, and then he looks at Darrow Shea like it's Darrow Shea's fault that he didn't track them in the runner from midfield. I was fuming, and it's just to think that Jack Taylor's not getting minutes over him at the weekend. Like, it was just very frustrating.
Well, yeah, I mean, I said that to you, didn't I? It's like, he said, Sabazz sent Darrow Shea to the shops. I mean, by half time, Darrow Shea had like a milk slice pan and and a pack of fags for the ma.
But it wasn't too bad. It wasn't like it was in. It was he done him, and then it was a brilliant finish. In fairness, from outside the box, it wasn't like that was the reason. Like, he still had a lot to do after he done him.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Although, actually, sorry, on the defenders, I moved on quickly there. I wanted to mention Nathan Collins' 100th Premier League game. One of only 8 players born from his age group
that this century, born from 2000 on.
Born from this century, that have played 100 games in the Premier League. So congratulations to him. He had a good game. He had a decent match for Brentford. They were over just down the road at Crystal Palace in what was a miserable day. We had a little bit of a disagreement about Nathan Collins. I think Nathan Collins is a wonderful player, but I do feel he's young, right? And again, he's 24.
Yeah, 23 or 24.
Yeah, so he's young. Like, he will not come into his peak until he's like 26, 27, right? But he does need to cut out some of the mistakes. He does. Like, he made a great block today, but that came from his pass. It was a misplaced pass. And, he's got to watch that. Also, he tends to drift a little bit. For the equaliser, we had a bit of a disagreement. Fair enough. Well, not the equaliser, sorry, the consolation goal by Crystal Palace, where basically was a guy behind him completely unmarked, and he was ball watching. Now, I get it, the right back has to cover him, but still, he should be aware. He should still be aware of the danger. And there is an expression, in football called ball watching, and he does that. And just a couple of times I've seen him he gets a little bit caught out. But I think he will get rid of that. I think he's good on the ball. His technique is excellent, but he just needs to do the simple things a little bit better, I feel, and he can become a top defender. I think the benchmark for defending in the Premier League, correct me if I'm wrong, would be someone like a Virgil van Dijk, and he could play that style. Is he as good as Virgil van Dijk? I'm not saying he is, but that's the sort of style he'd be going for. Good on the ball, but can also block, make tackles, do the simple things, and you feel assured and calm when he is there. And he's still young, and he still has a way to go, but he was very good today. And even Alan Smith was very complimentary, wasn't he?
Yeah, give him man the match, which is the most important thing. But yeah, I think he's already a very, very good player in the Premier League. One of the most, I think, underrated, because when people talk about who's the young centre backs that could break through into the top sides the next couple of years, he never seems to get mentioned. But no, I'm a big fan of Nathan Collins and think he's a very good player. So
oh yeah,
I think this season has really been a turning point in terms of getting to that next level, because last season he was good, but he wasn't great. I think this season he's been great, and he's been consistently very, very good. I know the one game you end up watching him today is he made that one or two mishaps, but in general this season he's been absolutely outstanding. And even when he has a couple of mishaps today, Everton Nelson's performance was so good that he got man of the match, which is always a good sign that even when he makes one or two silly mistakes, he doesn't drop the head, which easily could happen with a young player.
And what I like about him, and it's very similar to Caoimhín Gallagher, when he does make an error, it doesn't get the better of him. He gets over it. You need that mentality to be a top player. So I applaud him for that. I applaud him for his ball playing, right foot, left foot. He's very comfortable. Watch him going left to right. This boy could be a tippy top defender. He could be playing at a team like Liverpool. Maybe who knows? Maybe in 2 years' time, he could be the replacement for Virgil van Dijk. Now, Virgil van Dijk is even at this age, is incredible. But who knows? He has to keep progressing. He has to get better. I would like to see maybe with a better coaching staff, maybe at a top club, someone like that. Could they get to that next level? I think he's got all the tools for it, but he has to get rid of the silly little mistakes. And Virgil van Dijk makes mistakes as well. Of course he does, but also doesn't let it get to him. And that is the trait of a top player. If you can do that, you can be a top player. So he's got all the tools for it. I honestly believe he's got all the tools for it. He's just got to cut out the silly mistakes and just do the simple things better. But anyway, but no, super player. And I think he's a really. I mean, I was actually watching some of the old episodes of when we were the Green Machine, and we did a Green Machine Awards a couple of years ago. And one of them was goal of the year, and it was actually the Nathan Collins goal was in it, the one against Ukraine. I mean, to do that, looking at that was superb, wasn't it? When he just ran in,
yeah, it was unbelievable.
Look at a little smile on your face, Conor. God,
we need more moments like that from Irish fields, don't we? You need more moments like, oh yeah, that lad's Brazilian doing that.
Oh, it was superb. I remember showing that. I remember just watching that, going, "What have I just watched?" So the boy has it. Like he's got the tools. Not just saying because he's Irish. I do call it as I see it, but he has the tools to be a tippy top player. Just a big shout out, 1,600 people watching us live. By the way, fantastic. Thank you very much. Your support is amazing. Right, should we move it on to the forwards?
Go on.
Let's do it. Evan Ferguson still out injured. We're going to talk a little bit about him in a second. Troy Parr, 16 minutes, a 2-1 loss against Sparta Rotterdam. Faisal Adamaida, of course, the game postponed Celtic due to the storm. Tom Cannon, 90 minutes for his new club. 3-0 loss against Hull City. Sheffield United. Sammy Smodic still injured. He will miss the March games. Festy Episella also injured. We're going to talk about him in 2 seconds as well. For Watford, big blow. Casey McAteer, an unused sub in Leicester's 2-1 win at Spurs today. Mikey Johnson, as an assist, 61 minutes for West Brom. Chidozie Ogbeni, still out injured. Callum Robinson, a goal and an assist for Cardiff against Derby in that 2-1 win. Michael Obafemi not in the squad. Talk about him also. Aaron Connolly, 73 minutes for his new club Millwall. Missed a penalty. He did win the penalty, but he missed it. 1-0 win over Luton. Sinclair Armstrong got half an hour in a 2-1 win over Blackburn. And Tyler Goodrum, 25 minutes in a 0-0 draw with Stoke. So Festy, so what's happened there?
I'm sorry to tell you, you've made a mistake.
Oh, Christ.
Sinclair Armstrong played 60 minutes for Bristol City. He made his first start since coming back from injury, which I was delighted to see him come back from injury and start since injury. But yeah, he started.
Well, there you go. And you know what? Fair enough. And that's what we do here, folks. If we make a mistake, we correct them. I just wish we didn't make them. But anyway, fair play to Sinclair Armstrong coming back there. It's good to see him. He was out injured for a little bit as well. So Festy Episella, what happened there? How long is he out for? What happened?
It looks to be, Tom Cleverley said, I was watching the game the other night, it looked to be his knee jarred it or tweaked it, and Tom Cleverley said that it would probably be in the injury range of what Daniel Bachmann is out for, and he's out for 10 to 12 weeks. He said the scan didn't come back very good, but obviously that was his initial look, but no, it's not looking good for Festy. And I've seen stuff today reported by DiMarzio, one of the original huge journalists that he would have been Fabrizio Romano's mentor and such, and he reported that Galatasaray have put a bid in for him that's been rejected, but they're going to put another bid in. But if he's out injured until March, no transfer will go through or anything like that. So no, it's a huge pity to see Festy out injured. And actually, in that match, I forgot to mention that Rocco Vat actually scored another worldie again. So which is another huge positive to see. But no, it's a real pity to see Festy out for going to be out for, it seems, at least it'll be probably, I'd imagine, at least 6 weeks anyway. Like,
oh Jesus, that is unfortunate. Festy, we hope you get better soon, mate. Evan Ferguson is still out injured, heavily linked with West Ham. But apparently the club were talking to him about it. Are they trying to convince him to stay? Because they've had an injury themselves,
Strange.
Brighton, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, a lot of rumors before coming on that Marseille are really, really interested in getting him. Obviously, his old manager Roberto De Serbi is the manager at Marseille at the moment, and yeah, they have an excellent. I forgot to even mention them earlier when I was talking about all the good sides in the French league, but it seems that they actually sold their striker. I don't know, it pronounces Wahi or something, Wahi, and he signed for Leverkusen, I believe, and he was scoring goals from, and they need a replacement, and what better place to go than under his old manager that, remember, as we always remember, scored the hat trick last season, and he'd be playing alongside some top players at Marseille. I don't want to name who because we don't want to say him, but he is a top player at the end of the day, and I think that Marseille would be an excellent move for Evan, and it seems to be some reliable sources coming from France are saying that they're very, very interested in him. Obviously, you are trying to get. I wonder would Evan probably rather play in the Premier League? I'd imagine so because the interest will be there. But it's a interesting week ahead for Evan Ferguson. What actually will happen or what won't happen?
Yeah, I just hope he gets a move. If he's not going to play for Brighton, the lad needs to move. This is just lost minutes, lost moments, lost progress. The boy needs to be playing. He has to play. He needs to get match fit. He's missed such a massive chunk of this season through injury and whatnot. And even when he was fit, they just never played him. We don't know whether there was issues with attitude or not. No idea. Genuinely no idea. So really just want to see that boy get back. Sammy Smodic as well. He's going to miss it now. Is
he definitely out? Is he?
I think so. I mean, it was broken foot, was it?
I don't know. I just remember he was in the boot and that he was out for a bit, but I never seen any confirmation. I'd trust you in that, but I just haven't seen it because I presumed he would have been back for what is almost 2 months away. Like,
Just looking here. No update. 10th was the last one on the 42. He's wearing protective boot, blah, 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 blah. Hopefully it won't be a very, very serious injury, but he's in the boot at the minute with damage to his ankle. He'll be assessed on Monday to get a little bit of a clearer picture on where he is at.
so we don't know exactly what's going on yet. But it's interesting though because we have a good thing we have depth in the left wing coming through. Because basically he's been playing as a left winger for Ireland. We have Rocco Vata there, and unfortunately Jimmy McGrath has shoulder surgery and he's out for foreseeable future as well. But he probably would have been another option there, even though I think some lads have overtaken him in the pecking order. I don't think you can rule him out as an option for Ireland. But yeah, he's out, Sammy's out, Festie's out. A lot of lads that can fill in the wing. Obviously, we have Rocco coming through. Hopefully, we'll have an eligible lad that'll come in this March. I'd be hopeful of. But Callum Robinson might come back in, which I've seen a lot in the Telegram group I have for Rep Tracker. A lot of fans are not a fan of Callum Robinson, to say the least, about just his footballing ability. I know he's scoring. I think it's his highest scoring season numbers wise already, and goal and assist the weekend. But I would question if he's coming in as a striker. I think we have a set four there at the moment that is not really breakable unless someone goes on a really good form of with Ferguson, Troy Power, Tom Cannon, and who am I missing? I'm missing someone else because I had a set four. I'm missing someone.
Well, Smodic, not the other one.
It could have been Smallish. I think I've lost the plot here. I had the four in my head. I was thinking it to myself earlier. There's a four group there that you think, yeah, they're the four main number nines as such that plays number 9 for us that have played there. So, or Adam Ida instead of Smodic as our strikers. So, yeah, so we've them four as our number 9, and like, is Callum Robinson going to go ahead of them? I highly doubt it unless there's an injury or he's brought in as someone that can play on the wing as well.
See, you know what I don't understand, right, with modern football, and I know I went on a bit of a tangent about modern day football before we came on, because it does wind me up. I watched the whole day. I watched 2 matches, and they were crap. It was so boring. Anyway, but something that international managers would do. They would pick a player. They would pick players on form. You're banging goals in for your club. I'm going to pick you. Oh, you haven't played him you haven't picked him for 6 years. Yeah, but he's doing well for his club, so I'm going to bring him in now. I don't see the problem with that. I don't see the issue with that. If you have four, as you say, you're set 4, and we're struggling at the moment, and we are struggling at the moment. Our last game was a 5-0 battering at the hands of England, and you need goals against a team like Bulgaria. Just anything, just get the confidence going, get the blood flowing, shall we say? Why not? If you've got 4 strikers, and let's say you set strikers and 3 of them, one of them isn't banging in the goals, hasn't scored for like a number of months or whatever, number of games. You got one fella, he's been out of the picture for a bit, like Callum Robinson, and he's still banging in goals. Well, he's in the habit, he's in the hunt, he's in the mood. Get him in. Why not? I don't understand this whole thing. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's overcoaching, it's overthinking. You're in form, you're banging in goals. We're not. Thank you. And then, he could be shit then after that again. You don't know, but like just use him. Am I right, folks? No, gone stoically quiet. He's like, no, I don't like this old dinosaur with his common sense flying around the place. Anyway, so that is your big for this week. Tell us what you think. We're going to get to the comments in a minute. We do have another video coming out this week, Conor. We've had a lot of positive feedback over our 5 breakout stars, 5 whatever, like not top 5, just a 5. We have another one. When are we? Any news from your man? Who
I don't know. We're waiting on our thumbnail from our thumbnail guy who's.
Yeah.
I believe he has had no power the last couple of days, so I haven't heard from him. But I would expect it early next week for a new video to be out in the channel for everyone to watch.
We have it. It's made. It's in the can. We're just waiting for a thumbnail, folks. Modern football,
kids, yeah.
Fucking children. That's what I'm dealing with. Yes. So every week you should check it out on the YouTube channel. Every week we do a video, like 5 breakout players, 5 players, etc., etc. And actually, we're going to do more of that. We're going to do some retro stuff on that as well. But yeah, check it out. It's over on the YouTube channel here, and of course, please subscribe to YouTube. Just hit that subscribe button. And you can check it out over on the channel there. It really does help. If you haven't already, please do like this video on YouTube. It means a lot to us. We are trying to grow it. And, head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter. Give Conor a follow over there at RepTrack if you want to find out what's going on with the current and the future boys and girls in green. He is doing God's work over there, Facebook and Twitter. Yeah. And also, I suppose we'll give it a mention, won't we? Martin, buy a flask for Martin, will you? I've got a picture here. Here we go. So one of these flasks, you can get one of these flasks. Link is down below if you want to buy a flask for Martin. Martinade or Flaskade, that's what we should call it. Anyway, Conor, are you ready to delve into the comments?
Yes, get stuck in.
Let's get stuck in. By the way, 1,800 watching us live here on a Sunday night. It's fantastic. Thank you so much for your support. Anyone out there want to sponsor the pod and anyone want to sponsor the stream, you can have 1,800 people seeing live, seeing your product. Anyone. Anyone. Just not kebabs, as I found out last week. That was bad. Oh, God. Right, let's get into the comments. Right, let's get all the way back. Keep it coming in, guys. We see your comments coming in there. So, get involved. We are Irish football's most interactive podcast. Just don't take the piss and we'll be all right. Adam Cairns, what a pair of wafflers. Thanks, Adam. Here's Adam.
Comment that if you look at the time he's commented that it's 3:45 a.m. So God knows where in the world he's at. That it's 3:45 a.m.
Yeah, good man, Adam. So where would that be? That's like Australia.
Australia could be LA, West America, is it?
No.
They're behind.
They're
behind.
They're behind us, so it'll be like the other way. I don't know. That would have been about. Yeah, don't know where that is. 3:45. That would have been sent at about I don't know. Is he committed to Ireland? BJM. I think that is about John Joe Patrick Finn. He is. And why do we take Connor's word for that, Connor?
Do not doubt me.
Do not doubt me. That's a T-shirt. JOC. Any word on June internationals? I haven't heard of.
Martin spoke about last week. That's why you can tell you're not a real listener. You, David Dunn, you weren't listening to us.
I was pissing out of my arse with food poisoning last Sunday.
Away from that nonsense you're talking about. No, Martin said it's likely to be one game in June at the moment, and that it depends on I think on the Nations League, because they want to play a certain caliber of opposition, whether it's selling tickets or testing ourselves ahead of the World Cup qualifiers. And obviously there's playoffs in March for the quarterfinals, semi-finals, etc. So some teams will be knocked out, and I think they'll probably go from there. But hopefully we'll get 2 games. Hopefully we get an away trip and a home trip, but a home day, and we'll go from there. But we don't know yet, Jack. We don't know yet.
Yeah, I actually, now you mention it, I do actually sort of vaguely, as I was dipping in and out of consciousness last week, I do sort of remember Martin saying that. So yeah, there you go. Brilliant. I hope it's a summer camp, actually. I remember thinking to myself, I hope it's a summer camp and 1 game. That would be a lot easier on my bank account. Martin Fitzpatrick, welcome back, David Dunn. Thank you, Martin. Martin, of course, likes to keep us abreast of the situation going on in the world of Irish football. Always sending stuff through. Thank you for that, Martin. Big friend of the pod. Good to be back. Good to be back. John, yeah, you can see he's both fine. But if Conor could turn off his screen, I'd appreciate it. Sorry, guys. These are comments from earlier on, whilst we were having a bit of a row. Baylor. Too early for John Joe Patrick to join the first team. Well, we sort of answered that earlier on, but just very quickly, Conor, probably is, but you wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule it out just yet.
There you go. Ryan Kelly, if Dennis Kirkin isn't called up in March, is it safe to say he has his head set elsewhere? I think that's fair to say, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's a fair comment.
No word on that, I take it.
No, I haven't heard that. I don't think I will hear it. And to be honest, I don't think. In fairness, FEI are very tight-lipped in this sort of stuff. We've seen with the whole manager situation. I think if he is in the March squad, we'll see a big thing and announcement day of Dennis Cirkin, and they'll announce it like a transfer. But no, I think we'll if it happens, it'll be very tight-lipped, and we'll see it last minute, because as we know, stuff have fallen apart in the past, and they want to keep it quiet.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be when the squad is announced. Any word when the squad is announced, by the way? That's not a million miles away either, is it? That'll be about a month.
I've always had it that it's always the Thursday before the game is played. So the game is on the Thursday the 20th, so it'd be 13th. If that would be correct.
Yeah.
13th.
13th, okay. Yeah.
That would be my educated guess on this situation. I would be 80% positive that will be Thursday the 13th.
Yeah, it'll be announced either the night before or the morning of. Because he did that with Tom Cannon, didn't they? They just announced, oh yeah, Tom Cannon's signed up. There we go, all sorted. Which would be fantastic. And listen, and I totally get it. It's annoying for us, but the FAI confidentiality has to be respected here. There's probably passports. No, we don't know, by the way. We genuinely do not know. We're not trying to be coy with you. There could be transports, passports. It could be all sorts of stuff going through checks, you name it, and they're not going to say anything until it's all triple checked and signed off and all of that. But do you know what? I have to say, Conor, as I was watching the older episodes of Lansdowne Roar and Green Machine and all that, I cannot wait to get back on the road. Do you know that? I really can't. Yeah. I was watching the episode where I was in France with Martin, and it was a dump. The phone, I could only do it on the phone. The sound was terrible. I was sweating profusely. It was 35 degrees. But I miss that. It's brilliant. And I can't wait for that. And of course, guys, we will be live. Conor and I are heading over to Plovdiv. Conor's coming over to London. He's going to We're going to try and get a live podcast for the three of us over here in London, aren't we?
Yeah.
And
we don't want to set into yet. We don't want to set in yet, Dave, in case it doesn't go to plan. But we're planning on doing something.
We'll do something. We'll get something anyway. You'll be over here. Your first time out of the country. Well done.
Yeah. It'll be good. You know what'd be good, Dave? It'll be good to from September on play some proper competitive football again, because I know Nations League is competitive, but like competitive that there's at the end of the day there's something happening.
Qualification, yeah, no, I get that. Like, it'd be good crack as well. I can't wait for this. It's going to be a big year for us, and I think now with a proper, no disrespect to Kenny, he's going to do brilliantly with past this season. But I think now with a proper run at this, with a diligent coach, strong coach, very calm, I think he's going to do wonders with. I think he's going to do something good with this Ireland team. It's going to take a little while. We're going to see what he's all about with a summer camp. We hope in June. So I'm looking forward to this. 2025. Darrell O'Connor gutted for Festi, missing March window. That unfortunately means who will be the right wing back. Matt Doherty. Yeah, he
don't play wing backs anymore. In fairness, Dave.
No, 4-4. What's it? 4-4-2 out of possession, and what do we play?
4-4-3 or 4-2-3-1 as such. It's just there's a lot of variations in 4-3-3, but but in fairness, we have to be honest here, Dave. Matt Doherty has been very, very good over the last month or two, and in fairness, he has been playing as a right side centre half and a back three, which he has said himself. He's come out and said that it suits him as he's getting older. It's less running up and down, but he's able to use his football brain. And I know we question his work rate at times, but his number one strength is his composure on the ball and his football brain. So, it's interesting now to see where Matt Doherty will come into the picture in March. Will he come in as a right back, or will we do what we've done under Stephen Kenny and to fit Seamus Coleman and Matt Doherty in the same team? We go to a back five.
Oh, Jesus.
To fit Matt Doherty in, we play a back five.
Just wedge him in there. No, I think Heimer. Look, I know we got battered against England, but there's an asterisk there. We were down to 10 men, etc., penalty. I've seen a progression. Every window we've had on this guy, I've seen a progression. I see what he's trying to do. And once you can see what a man's trying to do, that's half the battle. So I don't think he's going to do that. But yeah, we're talking about players like there's Eric Cashin, there's Jacob Bryan doing a decent job at right back as well. So you don't know. You don't know. But yeah, Matt Doherty, he got that red card, didn't he? It was never a red card. God. Again, got your man sent off, the Arsenal player. Michael Oliver's been getting death threats, apparently, over that.
In fairness, if there's any decision you can make as a ref that gets as close to a death threat as possible, now I'm only messing. But in fairness, it is one of the worst decisions I've ever seen for a red card. It's absolutely scandalous.
And it went to VAR.
Yeah.
It went to VAR. Like, okay, if he makes it initially, you go, all right, fair enough, like the game's quick or whatever.
But I don't even think so, because initially, quickly, it just looks like he tripped someone. It's just denying a counter attack from the edge of the box. And now, because why I initially see that, I was like, does he think it's a goal scoring opportunity for Matt Doherty? Do you think he's that quick? He's not a Adama Traore here, but no, it's a mental decision. But in fairness, fair play to Doc. He won the ball and won his free kick and got him sent off.
You kids and your bloody one a foul stat. I will never accept that. Never. Any update?
That is a skill, though. That is a skill.
Yeah.
But no, but not in that context, in terms of just kicking the ball and running, but in terms of being able to use your body and knowing when defenders coming up your arse and how to take a free. Jason Knight is brilliant at that, but
Damien Duff was probably the first Irish player to properly do that. Yeah, because we never did that. I like Irish players just never dived, never really did anything like that. Just every now and again he'd lash out like a Jason McAteer, do something crazy. You've seen that against Macedonia '97, haven't you? The kung fu kick.
Oh yes, the kung fu kick. Yeah.
Yeah, like every now and again, you used to get an Irish player do something crazy like that. You go, what the fuck? But they never dived. They never went down easy. They just couldn't do it. And but Duff was the first one he could do. I mean, even the one against Spain in the World Cup where he goes down, like it was never a penalty. But he was the first one that could draw in fouls. And I get it. It's a skill. I just don't like it. But yeah, I understand that. Stephen O'Grady, any update on Louis Barry?
No, just what I've said and previously, and I'd be very hopeful.
Do you reckon he'll make it for March?
Hopefully, I hope so. I'll be very disappointed if he's not.
Are you not telling us something, Connor?
No, just because you never know with these lads. Lee Carsey could come in last minute and be like, "Oh yeah, we want you in England 21s." But no, I'd be very hopeful because he's an
Something you're
excellent
not.
player.
I tell you, you're lying to me. If
I'm
he's
not.
lying to me, folks,
What have I said wrong? I've just said I'd be very hopeful, but at the end of the day, there's always a chance England can always come in and be like blah 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 to get Ireland away from him.
hmm. Speaking of which, here we go. Baylor again. How you doing, Baylor? Heard that Tuchel is going to take players from the championship, so the Joe Bellingham shout might be over.
That is the biggest load. Why would he go to Championship League players? Joe Bellingham plays as like attacking as such midfielder, like his brother does, Jude. Um, but no, I don't. I'd imagine he looks at players in Championship for future, but I do not. If he called up Joe Bellingham in the Championship, you'd wonder what is going on here because there's clearly that's just biased probably to his brother just to like, oh, we got the brothers playing together. But no, it doesn't matter anyway. So we're going to see Jude or Joe Bellingham play for Ireland in March. He's seen our video, Dave, and he personally contacted me to say, "You're right, rep tracker. I will not doubt you, and I'll see you in March in Bulgaria."
Okay. Oh, Darrell Connor. Don't know that page. Oh, are we country? Oh, Darrell, you gonna get us into trouble? But I'm sure he's a sad bastard. Every international break, you see Northern supporters in Dublin Airport for cheaper flights. What's wrong with Belfast in their wee country? Let him bang on about his UK taxes. I'm sure he'll be the first one to come down to Dublin support their Mickey Mouse team. Jesus. Tell us what you really think, Darrell. Look, it's a bit of crack, isn't it? You know, and just to say, like, fuck. You know, it's just sad that you're kind of looking at our page, like you're kind of watching what we put up there. I have to say the feeling is not reciprocated. But anyway, JOC, could you see him being involved in March and maybe wait until June internationals, considering he's getting first team football? I presume that's John Joe Patrick Finn. We have answered that one already. Reckon June. I reckon he'll come in June, but you don't know. There might be a massive injury crisis, and it might be just exactly what he needs. Baylor, 12 goals in 23 games for Ditsy. Got a feeling a call-up is around the corner.
100%. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Has to be. It's just the fact he's going so under the radar here, I think, is an absolute disgrace. It's just getting this passing by everyone's heads. I don't get it.
March on for Ditsy. There we go. Get him in for March. Martin's looking probably spinning at his phone. Ryan Kelly, could we see Boston go on loan for more game time? Really huge talent. Hopefully, we will see him get some minutes in as soon as he's crucial to Ireland's future in midfield. Says Ryan. Ryan, we know he's going to go. Mark Robbins wants to put him out on the under 21s to get a bit of match time, but I don't think they're going to loan him out. I think they're going to get him fit, probably for the end of season running, really, aren't they?
Yeah, because he's so good that they know. Obviously, I'd imagine they see every day in training and small sided games how good he is, and I'd imagine just when the pitch opens up and gets bigger, it's a lot tougher for him. But Mark Robbins has spoken very highly of him, so he's obviously seen stuff in training. I don't know, obviously, he would have been Coventry manager last season, and I'd imagine scouts and all were telling him about this fella in League One who was absolutely tearing it apart. But no, I think I'd be very surprised if he went. Very surprised if he went to League One on loan or something like that.
Fair. Tony Herbert. Hi, lads. McNally seems to be having a good season, but I rarely hear him mention thoughts.
Good player. Luke McNally was at St. Pat's Central United before heading over to England. And now he is having a good season at Bristol City. I think just the problem is there's a good few lads ahead of him, and the right centre-back slot, we've Collins, Darragh O'Shea, Omo Bamidele, Jake O'Brien, even Mark McGuinness, even Shane Duffy, who was called up last time but obviously pulled out for injury, so he's probably thought of slightly ahead of Luke McNally, but he is developing at a good rate and he still is very young. So no, I just think not just yet for Ireland's standard, but hopefully in the next couple of years we could see him break through.
Shane Brandt, how you doing, Shane? Cashin sounds like Lissandro Martinez would take that. Is that fair?
I wouldn't say he's that reckless diving into tackles.
I need to check this guy out, Aaron Cashin. Like I have not seen him
He's
at
an
all.
excellent player.
Shane Brown asks again, Conor, would you have Cashin ahead of Scales? And Mark Curran says, I'd have Conor ahead of Scales nearly.
Yeah, I think I would, to be honest. I've said that for a while. I think Aaron Goshen's a better player than Liam Scales. Not to be disrespectful, because Scales has done excellently at Celtic, but I think Goshen's better.
There you go. Kevin O, welcome back, David. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, very bad about food poisoning last week. Only just recovered today. Wasn't even in a gym or anything. On Monday, right, I was so ill, Conor. I just stayed in bed, and I lived literally a 5-minute walk from Asda around the corner. But I had to go on Uber Eats to get a 4-pack of Lucasade Sport, a small little loaf of bread for toast because I couldn't have anything else, and 4 croissants with delivery charge thrown in. Do you know how much it was?
Much.
12 quid.
Oh,
12 quid. It was a 5-minute walk around the corner, but I was so weak, I couldn't make it. I just stayed in bed all day, just watching old wrestling. It was great. P. Harland, watch Jonathan. But thank you, Kevin. It is good to be back. By the way, just under 2,000 of you watching us on a Sunday. Fantastic. Probably one of our biggest audiences for a while. That's because I'm back, of course. But brilliant support, guys. Really, really appreciate it. The Roar faithful. P. Ireland, watch John Finn at Rem over the weekend. A lot of mistakes in the first half. Almost cost Rams a goal, but grew into the game. Was very impressive in the second half. He bullied PSG as a defensive midfielder. It was a good debut in the end, but a rough start. Yeah, listen, that's fair enough. I think that's fair, Conor.
yeah, that's a good dad. That's very spot on, in fairness.
Yeah, I mean, it's his first game, and he's just getting into it there. But as long as he finished strongly, and I'd imagine he was taken off after 6-8 minutes, probably just match fitness or lack of match fitness there as well. So he's probably getting tired. So brilliant stuff, hopefully now you'd like to see him get a little run in the team and just get better and better and better. P. Ireland again, though Connolly was thought Connolly was very industrious for Millwall over the weekend too. He strung together some good passes. You were very impressed with Aaron Connolly as well, weren't you?
Yeah, he was actually played well. I was because obviously he missed the penalty in the end, but he won the penalty himself, and he had a very good performance. And he acknowledged himself that his penalty was very poor. But no, listen, if he can keep playing like that, the goals will come, and he's a very talented footballer, and hopefully he can keep his head in the right place, which it seems to be. And it'll be a very good heartwarming story if Aaron Connolly can turn his career back around, break back into being an Ireland international, because he's someone that can not just play up front, he can play on the wing. So no, I hope that he can continue to play regularly at Millwall and score goals.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And there we go. Like another player now that we haven't had for such a long time, and it looks like he's got his head right and he's got talent. And hopefully he could fulfill that. It'd be brilliant for the young lad. Ryan Kelly, love the Granny Rulers episode, lads. Do we reckon we can see some surprises? Some surprise call-ups in March? Easy for me to say. Thank you, first of all, Ryan. We're going to do one of those once a week now, a video like that. We do have another one lined up. Obviously, the storm has kind of put that a little bit in hold. So we do have one in the pipeline. Hopefully, we'll release it the next day or two. But we're going to do one of those every week. Any surprise call? Well, I suppose Kirk. We mentioned earlier.
If Dennis Serkin's called up, or Louis Barry's called up, or CJ Egan Riley, they're all going to be surprised at the end of the day because they're not currently on board, and there's always a question mark over players like that. But you'd hope with him going to that Sunderland Burnley game last weekend that something was going to come from it. But I'm just wishful thinking, and I'm always very positive. I think everyone wants to play for Ireland, but no, you'd hope there'll be someone. You'd hope there'll be a few new faces. Like I don't know if people will consider Rocco Vata being a surprise call up, because at this stage, to me, it wouldn't be a surprise call up because he's just simply been outstanding lately. So no, it depends where your line is, and hopefully we'll see Dennis Serkin or Louis Barry or someone in that mold come into the squad.
It's a shame that it's a competitive game, isn't it? Actually, that it's not two friendlies, because then you could leave all you would like to think if it was a friendly he would do what Stephen Kenny failed to do in November 2022. And yes, I will always go back to that as the moment that I knew Stephen Kenny was in over his head, and just pick an inexperienced squad, the likes of your John Joe, and give him a chance. Show what we can. If you can pick an inexperienced squad and you get maybe 6 players, you go, wow, you're in, or your competition now. It's good. It's just good for everybody, and that's something that Kenny never did. But anyway, it's just a shame. I think it's just a competitive game that you can experiment a bit more. But I do think we'll have a Kirk. Is it Kirk and a Sirkin? How do you say his bloody name?
I said Sirkin. I said Dennis Sirkin. I think it's
All right.
Sirkin.
Sirkin.
I just think it's Sirkin.
Okay. I mean, you spotted he was at Sunderland there a couple of weeks ago, and we spoke to his son, Heimer's son, and he said, well, he's a bit quiet about it. I don't think he knew.
He said, in fairness, he said to me, being honest, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he said, hopefully all of them. He said, hopefully all of them, but he said, I don't know.
Yeah. So hopefully you'll have one of those. We need a left back. We've got a few decent right backs. We have a few guys who can play right back. Like Jacob Bryant, Aaron Cashin, if we get him on board, but we desperately need a left back, and hopefully we can get that bit more balance in the team. So yeah, it's all good. Shane Brown, call me naive. You're naive. No, just joking, Shane. But I'm super encouraged seeing and hearing about the range of talented guys we have in a 2023 years old range. Future looks promising. It does, doesn't it? We've been banging on about this for such a long time. That there would be a group of players coming through eventually. And Stephen Kenny planted those seeds. I know I lambasted him in the last comment, but we always felt that he wouldn't get to see the full potential of this team because there were other players, maybe missing links, such as Bosun Lawal, who would complete that jigsaw for him, and they're starting to come through now. So in the next 6 to 8 months, Conor, we could see a very different Ireland team, couldn't we?
Yeah, I'm excited for 2025. It's the year we qualify for World Cup again.
Steady. Darrell O'Connor, still don't know of an update of security for Bulgaria from the FAI. Haven't booked it yet, but we'll most likely have to travel through Sofia. Well, we're going directly, Darrell, to Plovdiv, myself and Conor. Anyone else here going?
Yeah. I think, in fact, just to Darrell, I think you might be cheaper off booking a flight to London the night before and staying in the airport hotel or staying in a cheap Premier Inn, because I've seen the flights actually to Sofia from Dublin are very expensive still, so, and the flight to Plovdiv is I think I paid €60 for it, so you might be cheaper doing that, and means you fly directly to the airport.
Whereabouts are you sitting on the plane, Conor? I'm in the posh seat.
All I want to say is I am not a stuck-up, posh, you know what, like you, and I just get random selection because I don't care. I'm a real
random
man.
selection.
Yeah, you just it's hitting hope, and that's a man who takes risks in life, not like you. Born, you are paying your €7 for a seat.
Random selection, you fucking peasant. Random selection.
No, that's how you want it.
Listen, you don't play games when it comes to a seat, especially on a Ryanair plane. Jesus, God, I've a lot of work to do on you, Conor. Jesus, don't worry, folks. I'll have them polished by the end of the year. Random selection, Christ. What are you sitting in the middle seat between two fucking big lads?
I always get lucky. I'm always get the window seat or the outside.
Oh, to be fair, there's nothing to you. You'd fit in nicely. But you see, you got to understand, I'm 6'2", Conor. 6'2". I have to have the aisle seat. I have to have space. I have to have leg room. I'm a big guy, and I like my peace. I also like to have my coffee to me. So, you know what else I get? I also pre-order my coffee as well on the app.
That's sad. That is sad. That is sad.
It's not sad.
It's called, get Brendy back now.
It's called.
Listen,
it's not embarrassing. That is called preparation, son. You should try some of it. What was it? What was your hero always say? Right now, for the purpose of this conversation, you are Martin Prendergast. What does your hero Roy Keane always say? Fail to prepare to fail. Just saying. Besides, I'm sick of rowing with airlines because I'm going to get arrested before I get on the thing if I have another row with somebody because they're trying to charge me extra for a bag, even though it does fit under the thing. So I just pay for the 2 bags. Fuck it. Am I right, Roar Faithful out there? Of course I am. Right. Good. Baylor, since Kenny's departure, I've only seen the Irish squad develop in their leagues with new talents popping up all over, looking good for the future. I think we still need another year and a ditzy return. Definitely a ditzy return. I mean, get that boy back would be time traveling. Yeah, and what Baylor says there as well, Conor, it's not quite down to Stephen Kenny, like, because he's left, they're all doing well. But he did give him a chance. And I've always said, like, that was the problem, wasn't it? That was the stagnation that we had under Martin O'Neill and, of course, under Trapattoni before that, before you were born. We just never had... We just kept the same players over and over again, and we were missing that massive gap.
And a lot of the young players that came through at that stage were honestly just weren't good enough. We went through a very dry patch of good young players coming through. Finally, it is starting to happen now, but there was a time period where there was literally nothing coming through.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it is very, very encouraging. Mark Curran, it will be an extra flight, but you can go Stansted to Plovdiv. Daryl, there you go, Mark. We're going to Stansted, are we?
Yeah, that's the flight. I think that's the flight Mark's on about the day before.
We're on
the game.
Sit in the aisle. Sit in the aisle seat with Taby as he has his pre-ordered coffee. I won't speak to you though. I'll just have my earpods in and I'll be reading a book on the flight. That's what I do. You see. So I hope so. It'd be no point you sit next to me, Conor. I'll just ignore you anyway.
Like I do to you all the time.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm looking forward to it. Be good. First time on the plane, Conor. Be good crack. Mark Curran. Let's not get excited about a 19-year-old who's doing very well at the moment, who could come in and play in a position where
I think I need to respond to this one. Our good friend Rolling Stone, who loves positive comments as usual, was commenting very negative comments, and I just put him on a timeout because he was doing my head in. To be honest, we were trying to talk, and all I could see was him arguing about Rocco Vatic, saying that he's only a good prospect when we all know he's an excellent player. And the reason he left Celtic is because Celtic is a death trap for young players coming through, and that he is benefiting his career leaving there, and no young player ever gets a chance at Celtic anymore. Ben Doak, he was comparing him to Ben Doak, who left Celtic for Liverpool, because it's mad to think you're more likely to get a chance at Liverpool than you are at Celtic. And I don't think we can compare the two because they're completely different types of wingers. I know about wingers. Ben Doak is a right winger that is right-footed right winger that's kind of uses pace that gets a head down and takes one on. Although he's a brilliant player, Rocco's a different type of player. Rocco's cut inside, looks more to score goals, and I don't think we compare. And then just on I've seen him talking about. I didn't think his comments were deleted when I put him on a timeout. To be honest, all his comments disappeared. But he said about Louis Barry saying, "Oh, why chasing a League One player?" I don't think we can call Louis Barry a League One player. I think some lads are just there as a temporary thing. He was the top goal scorer in the EFL. Aston Villa have recalled him. He's now back training with the first team, whilst I think they're trying to tie him down to a new contract, and they rejected a bid from Celtic worth 10 million for him, and they rejected a bid from Lens in France. And so I don't think you can say that about Louis Barry. There's a reason he was the top goal scorer in the EFL. So no, just to respond to them once, because I think he was just talking a bit of nonsense there.
Fair enough. Mark Curran, I rate future Ballon d'Or winner Rocco Vatic quite highly. I think that's in response to your mate, Sorry, Rolling Stone. We didn't think we'd delete your comments.
I didn't think it would disappear. It was just the whole comments was just taken up him giving out, so I didn't want to see the comments mauled.
That's not what we're about, but here we go. We'll know in future. Just calm down. Daryl O'Connor, sound Mark. I've done Stansted, going to Greece and feeling good, man. Daryl, we hope you'll do it this time as well, and hope to see you there. Dean Flood, I really don't get the hate that Robinson gets. He's not the greatest footballer in the world, but he seems to enjoy playing for Ireland. Plus, who are we to turn down an informed striker? Yeah, I go with that. Listen, that's what I said. Dean, if he's banging goals, and bring him in. If you're the manager, you gotta use your a player's commodity. You got to use them. You're on form. All right, I want you in.
I don't think so.
Huh?
I don't think so. in some contexts. If someone's getting a chance again after again and they're continually misperforming and they're clearly not up to the level, I just don't think you can keep bringing them in, to be honest.
Oh, but what if he's on form? Yeah, but he hasn't shown this. To be fair to Callum
He
Robinson,
has
he
come
hasn't.
in 20 times so on form.
Yeah.
He has come in on form before and just done nothing. Like I actually think he is a good player, and I do think
Yeah.
that. I just don't think you can, if it's the likes of leaving Tom Cannon out of the squad to bring in Callum
No, no.
Robinson, or leaving out an extra midfielder. If it's bringing in someone over, I don't want to say it, but over, say, Jimmy McGrath's left out and it's between them two, and you're bringing Callum Robinson in because he's in better form, yeah, that's understandable. But I don't think it's the type you can drop another striker who is going to be there for the long term and in reality is a better player. It's just he's going through a slight better period. But I think international football, I think a lot of the time we can see in international football, a lot of lads, their form goes out the window. And as I've always said in the past, Irish players always seem to go to another level when they play for their country. Sometime in the last couple of years, it's been the opposite. But in general, we see a lot of lads like Glenn Whelan used to go to another level playing for Ireland. James McLean did. Like Richard Keogh, I remember, used to be unbelievable at the back for a small period of time. Like, so I just think that these lads, that a core group of strikers, I know we want to see the likes of Sinclair Armstrong, Mason Melia break into that, but it's still time yet. But I think them four should be the core for the time being.
Okay. Tony Howard does ask, though, if Robinson does come in. Tony Howard in LA. I hope you're well, by the way, Tony. I know you guys had all those fires and all that, so I hope you are safe and all is well there. I'm not sure if you're anywhere near that. I do not know the geography of California.
I think a lot of it was damaged, so I hope he's all right.
Yeah, Jesus. Do you think, do you think Robertson could play the Smotrich role behind Ferguson, Cannon? Just thinking out loud, Tony in LA. And we hope you are. Thank you for getting welcome. I think that's your first time on here, Tony. And welcome if it is. And I hope you're enjoying it. And hope you subscribe to the page. And we hope you are safe and well. What do you reckon, Conor?
No, well, he can play there, but I just don't think he can play it very well compared to Azaz, Moore, and Will Smallbone even playing as a number 10. So no, I wouldn't. He can play there, but I don't think it's a option we really want to have, because didn't he play there? We played the Netherlands away last qualification game, and didn't he come on a half time and kind of played behind Ferguson, I believe. But no, I just don't think he's good enough to play there.
Fair enough. Daryl, knowing Castori will have another home kit in March, God knows what it'll be like. Did you see they had a massive fire sale on their website trying to get rid of all those shirts? I just can't be arsed with it. I can't be arsed with it. It's disgraceful that we are still with Castori. I understand the money. I get it. I totally get it. But holy Jesus. Mark Curran, I know you've made a lot of comments, but you've made them in response to Rolling Stone.
He actually made a reply, Dave, if you want me to pull it up.
Go on.
If you want to read that out.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark. Makes me look schizophrenic, well, obviously I do. But yeah, what wasn't our intention. Yeah, so some of your comments we're going to miss out on. We obviously try to get everyone's comments involved, but it just doesn't make any sense.
It wasn't, I don't think, in fairness, I don't think it was a general comment for us. I think it was just an argument we had in the comments section that had to be dealt in the comments section.
Fair enough. Lovely. So you could take that down for now, please, Conor, because I don't have access to that particular one.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, sir.
You fucking will be in March.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry, sir. Sorry about that, sir. No, sorry. I just don't know where that comment is on the thing, and I don't want to get lost where I'm at. Where are we? Mark, you're really going at it.
That one there. That's the next one.
Oh no, I've got. I know where I am.
No.
Daryl Conor, absolutely am optimistic with this year. Coverage from Lansdowne, Roar, top notch as always. Imagine the pod in the tournament. Thank you, Daryl. That's the dream. Stop. No, that is the dream. Stop. No, don't stop. I need more. I need this. I'm a very small, petty man. No, it would absolutely. I've never seen Ireland qualify for a tournament in person. I've never been in the fucking ground when we've done it. I thought it was going to do it in 2019. against Denmark when Matt Doherty missed an absolute sitter. He missed a sitter, didn't he, Matt Doherty, in that game? He got us back into it and he missed a sitter to it.
Christian Eriksen hat trick game.
No. The 1-1, where if we won, if we beat Denmark, we were going to the Euros. And we were really good that night as well. Such a shame. But yeah, no, look, I'm optimistic. I've seen him prove as long as I can see what he's trying to do, and as I can see that throughout the year. But we have to finish on a high this year. We have to finish. We have to be competing again, and I think then he'll get another bite if he deserves it. Mark Curran, to Ginger Sweating in Mexico. See you in North America. Live podcast from Mexico. Let's have us, says Darren O'Connor. Jesus. Where are we? Oh, Dylan Cullen has a question. Could Cashin do a job at left back?
Probably, but I think I'd rather if we had him in a left back option, I'd rather have Robbie Brady or Callum O'Dowda or Manning playing as our left backs. To be honest, I don't left back in general. So he could do a job there, but I think our current left backs are better as left backs than he would be.
Fair enough. It was funny. I was actually listening to Stick to Football with Dennis Irwin. I'd forgotten that he was a right back, but he only played left back for Man United. He was always a right back, and then only played left back for Man United, and played right back for the Republic of Ireland because Phelan and Staunton played left back. I think Staunton played as a left winger actually, ahead of Terry Phelan. There you go. So it can happen. Darryl O'Connor, Rep Tracker doing more to get Job than the FAI. Oh yeah, see where. Any comments on that? Little pat in the back for yourself there, Conor. Come on, you know you want to.
No,
you know you want to.
When he gets announced, I'll take all the credit for him.
Fair. Yeah, see where you've bat. Yeah, see what you've done to Rolling Stone. Jesus. Downtown 123. Check out a video of Cashin training at home during COVID. It is brilliant. I will. Dean Flood says, honestly, 12 quid for that delivery doesn't sound so bad considering the prices here. Yeah, actually, that is true. Still mad, like when you get 50 euros out of a cash machine. Like, it's just crazy. Although I don't really get cash out of a cash machine anymore. I use the old card. I remember when I lived in Dublin, you'd spend 50 euros in 20 minutes. Because when I was living there, you would literally go to the cash machine, get 50 euros out. Oh, I wanted 20, but they didn't give you out 20s. And then all of a sudden you pay for your lunch. That's about 12 euros. And you got 30 quid. And you go, I'll get this magazine. Get 442 or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, you had nothing. Anyway. Showing my age there, I suppose. Do you think there will be any squad experimentation for the Bulgaria window, lads? I don't think there will be. I don't think he's going to want to risk it. He probably will bring in someone like Sirkin, but that is more pragmatic because he's a left back and we don't have a proper left back. That's if it is him. It could be Job. Who knows?
He's just going to bring in. He's going to bring basically. If he brings anyone in, Dave, I think it's lads that are going to improve the squad. Although I would say Rocco Vata is in that bracket because he's just such a good player and we need that. But like lads it's not gonna be in terms of experimentation of bringing a young lad in to see how to do. But maybe the second game against Bulgaria because I'm hopeful that will comfortably be a better side than them.
Fair enough. Rolling Stone, he's back on YouTube.
The band didn't last long.
No, nothing to do with me, by the way. I'm just saying Rolling Stone. Our defence and goalkeeper are very promising. Kelleher, Collins and O'Brien, but we need to stop hyping up our attackers. We have nothing there yet. Downtown, well, I probably have nothing there because the midfield isn't fantastic. That's why it's very difficult to... We're just missing that dynamic in midfield, aren't we, to give the attackers something, through the middle. Good wing. We got good wingers, haven't we? We got good players down the wing, but we just don't have anybody through the middle yet. Is that fair?
Yeah, but I don't really want to answer that question because it's just going to be a negative response.
Fair enough.
Some positivity in here, Dave.
I am Mr. Positivity.
No, you're not the negative one. I'm like as negative as you are. You're not the negative one.
Not negative, I'm just realistic, you bastard. Yeah, Lansdowne. He finds a way, bless him. Downtown 123. Great to see you back, David. Thank you, Downtown. Good to be back. Should there be a larger squad for Bulgaria to reward the good form of a number of players who weren't in the last squad? I think Heimer would like to. I think he'd like to get to know the players as much as possible, the fringe players as well. Probably, though, Conor, that's a matter of costings, wouldn't it be, for the FEI? Not taking the piss, but, they've got to watch their pennies right now, haven't they?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I'd say at most we'll see 25-man squad, but no, I don't think we'll see anything bigger.
Fair. Darrell Connor, that's actually a decent idea, staying in London the night before. Wouldn't mind another pint at the Claddagh. It's a good pub, isn't it? It is a good pub, Connor. You were there as well. Yeah. Great pub. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be there. Let us know, Darrell. We will be there in London. We're going to have the day off. I have to pick this fucker up from the airport so he doesn't get lost again.
Okay, what do you want with me getting lost?
We'll be in London the day beforehand, and then we'll be flying out first thing from Stansted. We might have to. It's gonna be tricky getting actually to Stansted from here. Be prepared to be up very early, Conor. That's all I'm saying. Because we're nowhere near Stansted. Just saying. Rolling Stone, a big disadvantage Ireland have is they don't go to England until they are 18, so they are playing catch-up compared to the foreign players who go over 15 or 16. Do you agree with that?
It is in a sense, but some lads are better staying playing first team football, and as you'll see on Rep Tracker 2 this week, we have 2 lads going to the continent that are going to 2 very, very good academies, and sometimes it's better going to these European countries that are more inclined to bring players in the first team and then develop them and then use them as assets to sell on in the future. So keep your eye on Rep Tracker this week.
There you go. Our Rep Tracker at Twitter. So we get Mark Curran, 33% of middle seat, 66% for a good one. Great odds, and you save €9. I'm on Conor's side here, says Mark. Although Dean, he disagrees. No, David's side. Have some pride in yourself and pick a seat. Good man, Dean. Good man, Dean.
No, have some pride in yourself and don't cave into Ryanair.
Oh, fuck it. I can't be arsed arguing. I've spent years fighting a good fight. I'm fighting too many fronts at the moment. I'm trying, like, the Irish Times archive doesn't work. Actually doesn't work. And they've had to stop charging me for it because I'm like, why are you charging me for something that doesn't work? Oh, yeah, we probably should give you free till March. And they only give me free till March because they don't know how to fix it. Honest to God, Irish Times. And they were charging me for 50%. Because it wasn't working before anyway. No, and also I have to sit in the aisle. I do not do a window seat. I will not sit in the middle. I have to sit by the aisle. So I picked the aisle seat. Organised. JOC, Rockavada is proving its ability week in, week out in the Championship, arguably one of the most physically challenging leagues in Europe, especially for a player only getting into senior football. Rolling Stone, Moran is our most promising midfielder, but according to Stoke fans, he's a boy in a man's game. There's a player there in Moran, but at the moment, his confidence is shot. See, I think Rolling Stone is right there. I know you're saying that he needs to, and you said it yourself, he needs to get out of the Championship, but I mean, would that not affect him, though?
I just think go to the leagues that suit him to the best of his abilities. That's all I want.
But do you think that, I mean, do you not think they'll maybe stay and toughen up?
But I don't think bigger? I don't believe in that staying and stuffing up because that's not getting done. You're not toughening up by playing 90 minutes in the Championship when all these countries are doing better when you see these people. We see players go to different leagues and technically adapt or even learn to play in different styles of football, because at the moment all Andrew Moore knows is the Brighton style of playing and then going to these Championship clubs where it's a lot of bypass in midfield, it's a lot of long ball, even though when they try to play football, a lot of them are just not technically good enough. Like, I think you just need the best we're going to see of Andy Moran is when he's playing with good players around him, and that's when his confidence is going to get up, because his goals and assists numbers will start to go up. Like in recent weeks, he's been playing a lot. He played as a 10 the other day, which was a lot better to see, but he's played a lot on the right since Mark Robbins has come in, because I think he wants big physical midfielders in midfield, and like that is not a benefit to anyone. Andy Moran playing every week on the right wing, because it's just not his game. I think you get someone there, a lad where they can play. Look at what look at what Troy Parrott has done since going abroad. I know he still needs to. He still has a few bits to work on, and he still physically isn't all there to be. But he's a lot better doing it every week, playing in the Dutch league, scoring whatever goals he's going to finish with the end of the season, than he is playing in the Championship, scoring maybe 10 goals in a
I agree with
season.
that.
And I think Andy Moore is similar. I don't know whether it's the Dutch league or even I think Andy Moore could go to the Bundesliga. He could flourish. He could go to Spain and flourish. He's that good. I think Andy Moore is that talented of a player, and he's one of the best players we've produced in a long time. But I think the Championship is just a waste of time for him, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Stoke, they're fighting for survival. So the first thing, if you're going into it, look, if you go into a club where they're struggling to stay up, the first thing you do is you make them tough to beat. So you get in, you harden up the defense, you harden up the midfield. So yeah, it's not going to work out well for anymore. So yeah, I take your point there. I genuinely do. He is on loan from Brighton. He is on loan from Brighton, isn't he? Conor.
Sorry, what'd you say? The Wi-Fi went for a sec.
Yeah, no. So he's on loan from Brighton still, isn't he? Anymore?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So he'll probably, yeah, I do agree with that. However, that is a thing for him that he will need to develop physically. Like Troy Parrott, I think Troy Parrott is a lovely footballer. He's a great brain on him. I'm a fan of Troy Parrott. However, he needs to physically get bigger. We sat when we were sitting in. Did he play in Helsinki or was it Dublin?
Yeah, it was Helsinki. You weren't happy that he came on.
Yeah, but rightly so, because the two big centre halves ate him up. He just bounced off him. And I thought Ida, I think I was saying to you, I'd like to see Ida come on. I think he's a better footballer than Ida, but Ida's a big, strong lad. And Evan Ferguson, obviously, a big, strong lad as well. So he does need to toughen up, and Andy Moran does need to toughen up. But yeah, I do understand that he's just not getting any minutes at the moment. So he probably should go to. He's more of a continental player, but he will, if you're watching Andy, you need to bulk up, because they're going to.
I think Andy Moore, he knows that himself. Like every player knows what they're doing, and they're going to be given. Like thing is, all the bulking up is going through food and through gym work and stuff. So like people act like these players go to the continent and suddenly they stop bulking up, which is just not true. Like it's like Troy Parrott will continue to develop physically whilst he's playing on the continent. So I would just think that Andy Moore has to go. I think to say that he should go to champ, people like saying, oh, he needs to go play in the Championship to toughen up is just a load of nonsense, because we need new cultures in this Irish side, people coming from different countries, bringing in different styles that know how to adapt against a different side of internet. Like the likes of Greece. Greece is a cultured side that lads are playing all over Europe, and they know how to adapt against a different team. Like
also
they
aggressive.
can see a certain style of play. They can see a certain style of play that a team is playing, and they're like, no. They can at least help the lads out and say, this is how they would play. This is little clues, or even for. I think I'm not saying Andy Moore. If he continues playing as a number 10 for Stoke for the rest of the season, that's it's not the end of the world. But I just think to get the best out of Andy Moore in an Ireland jersey and to see him flourish into the player that I know he can be one day, it's best he probably tries to get a different loan move.
No, look, I agree with that, but he does need to toughen up, because otherwise we're just going to eat him up, especially international football, especially international football. International football there's a reason why not every player can adapt to international football, because it's different. You're not training all the time, you're not coached all the time, and you have to think for yourself at international football. So he does need to toughen up, and I don't mean toughen up as if in like stop doing all the stuff he's doing. Like you can still be aggressive, you can still be tough, and still do all the technical stuff. You can still, play the passing game, but you have to protect yourself against a big stony-faced defender that's going to go, see this little fucker, he does a little lollipop, and I'm going to take him out. Bang, there you go. And all of a sudden, you just have to protect yourself. So it's just adding another layer to his game. That's what I'm saying. He needs to get physically stronger and bigger.
The thing is, I have to say though, Dave, he is getting. You can tell he has between this season and last season. He has physically got stronger, and he is adapt. I just think the league that relies mostly on physicality is the Championship, and that when in the reality at the end of the day, it's not what we with Andy Bowen. We're not relying on his physicality when we're putting him in an Ireland jersey. So I just think get him to somewhere that suits the best of his abilities.
You just love your Andy, don't you?
Top player.
You just
top
love your Andy. You want to see this lad sitting next to me. Where was it? It was against England. Was it against England?
Yeah, it was
Oh my
against England.
Oh my God! Like I was like, I want to see both hands on the table, Connor, when he was on. uh, moving on. Surely Troy Parrott is starting striker March. Personally, I wouldn't even look at Evan until June. I tell you what, I think that's a shout about Evan. I think we should forget about him for March and just get him to sort out his club career. That's the first point. Second point, don't know about Troy. Maybe against Bulgaria, actually. Yeah, could be a shout. Although
He has to start, in my opinion.
You think he does? I mean, yet again, it depends on Bulgaria and the size of Bulgaria. Like if they have two big aggressive centre backs, forget about it. You know,
No, I don't, Dave. I think you're a bit. Oh, I think you're overseeing it a little bit because.
Was I wrong in Finland?
No, but that was just one. That was like one game and one. It's always a lot harder when you're coming off the bench, and particularly when you're in Finland. It's a freezing country that you're sitting cold. It's a lot to adapt. But it's not like he plays in the Eredivisie every week, and the likes of Virgil van Dijk, Mickey van de Ven, all came from the Eredivisie initially. Like, so it's not like there's not big, tall, strong centre halves that he plays against every week. It's just he needs the players around him to kind of fit to Troy Parrott. That's the thing with Troy Parrott. He kind of needs players to fit him. But no, I think like if Troy Parrott can't do it against Bulgaria, we might as well give up. And I know he can easily play against Bulgaria and score against Bulgaria. So I think you're just overstating this thing of big, tall centre halves.
His form hasn't been brilliant at the moment. He's our top striker in terms of goals scored. But just looking here on SofaScore, going to turn the tables on you here, Conor. Played today, 7.1 Sofa score. He did score against Roma. I didn't see that goal.
The winner?
Was it a good goal against? Yeah.
No, it was a lovely flick in the initial thing, and then he came back and ended it. So it was a lovely team goal that started off by Troy's player.
No, yeah. So, and the reason why I couldn't see because it was on Irish Twitter, and I'm in the UK. I kept saying this is not made in your country. Then before that, Utrecht 0-0, 6.7. Before that, 2-0 win over Ajax, 6.8, 5.7 in a 2-2 draw at PSV, and then he scored. He went through a little bit of a purple patch. Then, so the last couple of games, he's not exactly on fire at the moment. Like it's not a constant. Sorry, just I see my Wi-Fi's gone down there a bit. It's not like he's not absolutely blazing. He's doing well, but he's a little bit inconsistent at the moment. So, but. Anyway, be that as it may. So you want to see him start against Bulgaria?
I think at the moment I would still have Evan Ferguson, to be honest, as our starting striker if he's fit and he's playing at club level. But I just don't know where
he won't be. He won't be though. I don't think he will. I mean, first of all, we don't know where he's going to be playing. He's still injured. Do we know when he's back from his injury?
I think that Hurstler's kind of just dragging on just to keep him out of the spotlight at the moment. Because there was a report last week that he was back training and then he wasn't saying he wasn't, that he was still injured. So I think my guess would be that it's not near as what he's saying it. And I think that Everton will be, wherever he goes this week, will be ready to come straight in, like to make an impact. And the thing is, he'll get a month of football, and if he even gets 1-2 starts, I think they'll just start him straight away, because at the end of the day, he's Evan Ferguson and he's by far our best finisher.
I mean, I'm just looking there. He'll have. I mean, it closes on the Monday, doesn't it? The 3rd, so he's got just over a week to get a move. He's not even playing at the moment, and then it depends. It depends what his fitness levels are like at the club as well. Like he might not be fully fit. I don't know. If
we just have to wait and see, Dave, to be honest. Ask me at the 26th of February, my mind might have changed, but it's the 26th of January, so still.
Okay, all right. Getting a bit. Wind your neck in, son. Ryan Kelly, great to see Jacob Ryan slip into right back position, playing well. Do you think we could still see Jimmy Dunn potentially get a call up? Been impressed with him at QPR as a right back. Holy shit, we've loads of comments.
Done very well, Dave, hasn't he?
He has. It depends really what Heimer wants to do. I think if Heimer wants to shore things up at the back, he could bring in Jacob Ryan as a right back. Jimmy Dunn, though, I think Jimmy's just unfortunate, isn't he, at the moment? Anytime he's coming, he got injured last time, didn't he, when he was in?
Yeah, and fairness, when he came in before, he was a centre half, and now he's playing right back these days, which he's been excellent for QPR. But
Yeah.
I
Just
think
what he
the negative for him now is that he could end up playing Darrow Shea at right back for Ireland again, and Jake O'Brien playing every week for Everton looks like he might start doing it right back. That's another, when you have someone playing in the Premier League, it'll automatically take over him the pecking order, and Doherty's there, and I don't know what the story will be with Coleman. Whether there'll be a few, it'll be an interesting thing because I remember he said before, he goes, "We've decided we're not going to pick Matt and Seamus together for the same camp." So I could imagine that'll probably change in March as long as Seamus is fit.
Fair. Tony Herbert again. Thanks, lads. It was close to the fires, but I didn't have to evacuate. Thank God. Love the show. It's great, especially living so far away. Long time subscriber, believe it or not. I was in the Necker Stadium in 1988. Good man, Tony. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for watching, and thanks for getting involved. And get involved, guys. We are Irish football's most interactive podcast. Just don't be a twat, and you'll be grand. But thank you, Tony, and we're glad to hear that you're doing okay. Dean Flood, considering Chio and Festi are out, who starts right wing? Banqua?
He's not a winger, dude.
I don't know anymore. Like fucking Festi was a right winger.
Probably, I don't know. You put Rocco there. Casey McAteer.
Yeah, he's back from injury, although he didn't play today. Rude doesn't like him. Doesn't like him anymore.
He did for a while.
He did, yeah, and he kept losing. Not saying that was Casey's fault, by the way. Yeah, I mean, we've got some young players, some young wingers coming through now, haven't we? A few that we mentioned in the video coming out, don't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a tough one. You reckon Rocco? You reckon he'll come in?
Yeah, well, he's mainly plays in the left, but I've seen him play loads of time on the right before. So we got Mikey on the left, Rocco on the right. That'd be an exciting two wingers.
Fair. Get Paul Hughes up front for Ireland. Lad could escape any defender, says Pale. Who's Paul Hughes?
You know, the MMA fighter fought Usman Nurmagomedov last night in the PFL. Great fight, in fairness. Unbelievable fight.
Oh, no, I don't know what Hughes.
Belfast man. Great Irish.
Okay. Ryan Kelly, hopefully we can see Casey McAteer go on loan or get some time. Was excited when he decided for us. Initially, hopefully he will get a good run and fill the right wing spot with the two lads out. Well, yeah, I mean, he probably will come in for that, won't he? Just pragmatism. John Mulkeen, are we looking at a Premier League and Syria in the next few years? I think so. Seem to have loads of players going to the continent now, don't we? Good. Crying out for some cheap Irish talent. Hopefully something that will, what's the story with the lad, the Pats guy? Do you reckon it's going to be the first £1 million League of Ireland player?
I think it'll go to Spurs. Spurs are heavy favourites, so I think he'll probably end up at Spurs.
Oh, God help him. Rolling Stone, what is Vatta's ceiling? Does he have one?
Top.
Dean Flood. On Moran, there's sending young players to toughen, but he's in a poor team that doesn't suit his technical style. Fair enough. Rolling Stone, Moran might be like Harvey Elliott. He's a player you bring on when your players are tired. It's been rough loans for Moran, back-to-back championship relegation fights. Yeah, he's not the player for that, is he? He's what you'd call a luxury player. Like the old British manager would call him, he's a luxury player, we can't afford him. I wonder about this bulking up. Modric didn't need to bulk up. Yeah, but Modric was potentially generational talent. And
the different positions at the end of the Modric was a deeper type of midfielder.
Yeah. And he's a footballing genie, says Dean Flood. Rolling Stone, I think it's more mental with Andy than physical. He says himself he has doubts about making it at the highest level. Really?
I don't think any popular things.
Daryl O'Connor, Jesus Christ, Rolling Stone, there'll be anything positive to say. Rolling Stone says, I praise the defence and goalkeeper. Shane Brown, how you doing, Shane? David O'Connor, you have taken sports journalism to the next level. Keep up the outstanding service, reaching time zones from Florida to LA to our wee country page based in Vietnam. Oh, okay, that would make sense. Thank you, Shane. Massive friend of the pod there. 2,300 watching us live, by the way. Just thought I'd put that out there. Although we are going to wrap this up in a minute. Daryl O'Connor, for me, part of absolutely has to start in March. He's earned it doing his thing in the Eredivisie. Dean Flood, speaking of keepers, any updates on Travers' move? You mentioned it earlier.
Haven't heard anything since it was reported that it was in advanced talks. So I'd imagine we'll probably hear something probably tomorrow or the next day. I'd imagine.
Fair. Can't judge a player like Troy who isn't exactly being given chances left, right, and centre off match ratings. Well, I just thought I'd turn the tables on Conor there. He loves his old stats, doesn't he? Ross tells Collins looks like he could make it at a bigger club. I agree. I said earlier on, he's got the tools to make it, Nathan Collins. Just needs to cut out the silly mistakes. Mark Curran, praise our defence and goalkeeper, but shat on our attackers in the same comment. True positivity, that is. I'll tell you what, when we produce a midfielder like Adam Wharton or Lennon Miller, then I will be super positive about our midfield. I don't even know who they are. Are they Scottish players, are they?
Adam Morton's the boy that was at Blackburn that went to Palace and got an English squad. And if they keep going on, he's next Michael Carrick, but he's done nothing this season. I know he got injured there not long ago, but he's done nothing. I think Rolling Stone has a thing for Scottish players because Lennon Miller and Ben Doak. I think Rolling Stone is like he's Scottish.
Mark Curran, Mikey and Vatsa on the wings, and we will have Bulgaria every day of the week. Tony Herbert, Mickey loses the ball too much.
Mikey,
he does. Yeah, Mikey Johnson. He got an assist though today, didn't he?
He actually has been in superb form the last couple of weeks. I don't know if you've seen yesterday. It wasn't the assist that he got was unbelievable yesterday. It was the run for the Diangana's second goal or first goal, I believe. He nutmegged the boy in the wing, went past a few shots, the keeper saved it, come out to Diangana. But no, he's been in really good form. When Mikey Johnson is at his best, he's almost impossible to stop, but it's just getting him at his best because he's so inconsistent at times. So hopefully he's in good form coming into March, because the likes of Bulgaria is the type of team you always see him tear apart.
Yeah, I mean, they, as you said, they're shy. Watch. And the last comment, P. Ireland, and then we're going to wrap it up here, folks. What do you think of Cahill O'Sullivan? He's been very promising for us in Cork City. What do you reckon there, Conor? Last week,
he's unreal. Top player. He scored an unbelievable goal yesterday in pre-season again, as he seems to cuts in the left foot and puts it top bins. But yeah, Cahill O'Sullivan's unreal.
There you go. And we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much, folks. Just under 2,400 of you watching us here on a Sunday night. That is absolutely brilliant. Martin, I hope you are eating your heart out, son. We will be back next week. We'll have an episode during the week. Sorry we didn't really do that last week because, storm, food poisoning. It was all a bit mental. But hopefully we're back to, if there's a bit of news, we'll have an episode. And of course, we will be back at some stage. We're not sure when we're going to do the live. No, we are. We're going to go live this next Sunday. Sorry, this day next week. I'm on holiday a few days after that. Much needed, I dare say, deserved holiday, Conor. But we will be live next Sunday at 9 o'clock. So do join us, and we will have an episode and a video as well during the week. So fantastic. Thank you very much. If you haven't already, guys, yes, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to keep doing it. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button if you haven't already. It really does help. We are trying to grow the channel. We're trying to get past the 2,000 mark at the moment on YouTube, but we're trying to get to about 5,000, Conor, aren't we? We want to get to 5,000. Yeah. We feel we'll be taken seriously. And I want to be taken seriously, Conor, like that Rolling Stone bloke. Take me seriously. Anyway, yeah, we're just trying to grow it. And then once we get to a certain level, just be honest with you, once we get to a certain level with the YouTube channel, then we'll start doing more videos and more documentaries and things like that we really want to do. But we just have to push the channel. So if you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button and telling your friends about it and get them to hit the subscribe button, the more viewers we have, the more stuff we'll put out. It's a bit of a vicious circle, but a nice circle. It's Dave's friendly circle. So let's create that friendly circle, right? Anyway, we're going to leave it there. As always, head over to the Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. And if you want to see what's going over...
Just say something there, Dave. An unnamed German club is showing serious interest in Evan Ferguson.
An unnamed German club, we should say. Well, unless it's Bayern Munich, it's a bit shit, then it's not really. But yeah,
Dortmund, Leverkusen. Dude, lots of good clubs.
Are they though? Are they? Well, maybe Leverkusen.
Well, not a lot, but they're better than going to the Championship. As people like to think he should go to Leeds. No, thank you.
All right, calm down. Well, we'll find out. Well, that'll probably be the next episode that we do during the week. So just keep an eye on the socials. Anyway, we're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much. 2,400 of you watching us tonight. That is absolutely brilliant on a Sunday night. We're going to head on out of here. Be safe where you are. I'm David Dunn. He is Conor McAvoy. This is Lansdowne Roar. You're all bloody lovely, and we are out of here. Good night and God bless.